Dear friends, I'm very happy to welcome you today on our online webinar. And today I will share with you that we're actually testing something different. Like today, our webinar is transmitted at 3 separate places at the same time. So I do hope that everything will work and everything will be wonderful. So thank you very much for finding time to join us on the first spring webinar. In Cyprus, the spring is already here. All the almond trees are in bloom, the sun is shining, and the weather is absolutely amazing. So if you're in Cyprus, I'm sure that you already can witness it. If you're not in Cyprus, then I hope that after our presentation and after our webinar, you will think about coming and visiting our beautiful island. And to start with, and when everyone is joining in, I always love to ask the same question at every event. And the question is, where are you now? I'm so happy to see that Cyprus is attracting attention from so many countries, and our online webinars are very often a proof to it, because we have people joining from all over the world. So if you, while we're waiting, if you can type in the chat, which is completely open, if you can type, where are you now? Where are you listening us from? That will be really helpful. And in general, I want to tell you that these webinars are very interactive. So if you have any questions, if you have any comment, if you want to add something to what I'm saying, please type it in the chat, and it only makes our webinars more and more interesting. And I already can see that we have people from Scotland, from Cyprus, from Denmark, from Israel, from the UK. This is Israel, Vietnam, and coming to Cyprus very soon, Vienna, Austria. You know, guys, this is the best proof and the best confirmation that our beautiful island does have lots of potential and attracts lots of attention. So without further ado, let's start our presentation. So today we will talk about Cyprus. And today is an introductory webinar. So for lots of you who are in Cyprus, I'm sure that there will be things that you already know. But if you're not in Cyprus and only thinking about coming to Cyprus for holidays or maybe to live, I'm sure that there will be lots of useful information. And first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Anastasia Yianni, and I'm the CEO and partner of Cyprus Sotheby's International Realty. But as I always say at our webinars and at the events where I speak, the most important part is that I'm the person who moved to Cyprus 24 years ago. And for 23 years, I work in Cyprus real estate market. So I have my personal experience of moving to the country, of becoming part of the culture, becoming part of the society, but also I have really thorough understanding of Cyprus real estate market. Just to give you an idea, I hold the master degree in real estate, and my dissertation was amazingly interesting subject, with the topic that is being discussed again and again, and it's all about the property bubbles. Cyprus Sotheby's International Realty is part of the bigger network. Cyprus Sotheby's International Realty is part of Sotheby's International Realty, which is probably the largest international luxury real estate brokerage worldwide. The network is present in 84 countries, but what does it mean in practical terms? In practical terms, it means that I understand very well that when you are in in the UK, when you're in Israel, when you're in Austria, you have lots of options. It's not only Cyprus, there are many other countries that could be of interest for you. And being part of international community, we have an opportunity to have a wider picture, to understand what other countries can offer, what Cyprus can offer. So provide you with, in a way, with comparison of different countries as well. Our company is a licensed real estate agent. Very important in Cyprus, this is a licensed activity. We work all over Cyprus with all developers and private sellers. We try to have very high level of service that we offer to our clients. So we have exclusive portfolio with high return on investment. Everything that we do, all the properties that we take, they go through strict due diligence procedure. And in all, our aim is to provide you with the best possible service. So what shall we discuss today? Today we will talk a bit about Cyprus in general, and I will try to make a small introduction to Cyprus, why it is popular, why people are coming, why could you consider either coming to Cyprus, as I mentioned before, for what purposes. I will cover in a little bit different areas of Cyprus because it's quite amazing. The island is quite small, but every area is different. Every area has different energy and different attraction. So in a way, when we start working with our potential investors, we would always first try to understand which area would fit the best. Of course, as I noticed that we have lots of listeners from non-European countries, we will cover the aspect of permanent residency and how you can legally stay in Cyprus. And we will talk about what to have in mind when investing in Cyprus property. I always leave lots of time for questions and answers. And as I mentioned earlier, whenever you have a question, please feel free just to type it in the chat. And if possible, I will answer during my presentation. If not, then I will definitely leave it at the end. So let's talk about what are the main drivers of demand for Cyprus property market. And for all the years that I've been working in real estate, the first part and the biggest attraction stays the same. And this is the lifestyle of Cyprus. When people are planning to move permanently with their family, or maybe they consider just to use Cyprus as their holiday home. The second big reason why people are considering Cyprus is connected with taxes and also with the relocation of their business. Cyprus government is making huge initiatives to make the country attractive for businesses, because we understand very well that when business comes, people comes, and prosperity and the growth of economy comes as well. The third reason is the immigration programs of Cyprus, because it's very clear that there is a demand from people who want to move, but how can they live in Cyprus? If they're not from the European Union, then there are restrictions. So permanent residency programs of Cyprus become very popular and very clean and very straightforward. The fourth reason is investment, because the Cyprus market, because of its demand, because of its popularity, provides very good investment return. And we have noticed, especially in the last 2 years, when the financial markets are going crazy, when it's so volatile, people go back to basics, and lots of private individuals and companies, they prefer to invest in brick and mortar, and Cyprus is a very good option for that. So let's talk about the advantages of Cyprus, why people plan to move to Cyprus. There are so many beautiful countries, there are so many wonderful countries on the globe, why people consider Cyprus. And when we were discussing with lots and lots of our clients and based on our experience in general, there are many advantages. And of course, when we're talking about the lifestyle change, we always look for better quality of life. And just last week, I was very privileged to be part of an amazing event. Last week, there was a first ever Cyprus diaspora event. And it was amazing to see how many people, how many families, they moved in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s from Cyprus, because it was not a country that could provide better future for the children. And now there is a huge Cypriot diaspora. In fact, the figure that was mentioned is that more than 800,000 Cypriots live abroad. And now many of them, they plan to come back because Cyprus offers better quality of life. And let's start with something that is always here. Cyprus indeed is the sunniest European destination. We have 340 sunny days per year. We do not have any heavy industry. So that's why the environmental situation in Cyprus is excellent. We have cleanest beaches in Europe. So it all adds up to the quality of life. Cyprus has excellent healthcare, but I will talk about it a little bit later. Being a foreigner myself, I can definitely confirm that Cypriots are very hospitable. In all the years that I've been living here, I've never felt myself not welcome. So they are very open to different nationalities. So when you move, you do feel very, very comfortable. Even though it's an island, it allows you global connectivity. Everything that I say today refers to Cyprus, to the Republic of Cyprus. Sometimes it's called the southern part, but this is the Republic of Cyprus. And in Cyprus, we have two international airports, in Larnaca and in Pafos, where you can, from these airports, you can travel everywhere. Every continent, it's very easy to go. What is very important to mention as well is that in Cyprus, it's British law-based legal system. And what does it mean? It's a precedent law, so it's quite clear to understand what to expect. And because English language is widely spoken and used, lots of things are much easier. Just to give you an example, even the contracts of sale are done in English, and they can be done in other languages as well. For the presentation, we only mention English, but to be completely honest, almost every language is widely spoken, and there are a big Israeli community in Cyprus and growing. There is a large German-speaking community. Again, we are part of the Cyprus German Association, and it is becoming very, very active. So all in all, it's a country where it's very easy for you and for your children to adapt and to become part of the country. Extremely important point is the safety. Even though now, of course, there are some unpleasant changes, but still Cyprus is considered one of the safest countries in Europe. And when we live in the time of huge unsettled condition, safety, your personal safety of your family, and safety of your business becomes of paramount importance. What is also very important to mention, if you're looking for relocation and if you have a family, of course you're thinking about education. You know, there are several things that we always consider. It's the education, it's the health system, it's the opportunities in general, and the general atmosphere. And of course, in Cyprus, and I will cover this point a bit in more details, the education is very good quality. Cyprus has modern banking and legal systems. Of course, it's now in general, the banking system is not the easiest, but provided that you know what you're doing and you work with experts who are assisting you to make the transition and transactions correct, everything will be fine. And also, Cyprus is a historic country. Cyprus has rich historical heritage. Infrastructure is amazing. And of course, we are slowly moving to the next driver. Cyprus has excellent tax system. I'm not a tax advisor, and I'm never going into details, but of course, if you would like to have a professional tax consultation, we work with best tax advisors in the country, so we will be able to assist. But even this slide, which is open information, I think it's quite fantastic. You know, I think that when we see so many zeros connected to taxes, it's a good thing. And this was the reason why many individuals and many companies made decision to move to Cyprus. So just to give you an idea that if you move to Cyprus, then for the next 17 years, you will be considered a non-domicile tax resident, provided, of course, that you leave the certain amount of days and you become the tax resident in Cyprus. Then for 17 years, you will have zero tax on your passive income. There is no property tax and there is no inheritance tax in Cyprus. Pension tax is only 5% and corporate tax is only 12.5%. And of course, there are lots of incentives for IT companies, for intellectual property companies. There, the tax is going even lower. There are also lots of tax incentives for individuals who move to Cyprus and start working in Cypriot companies. So overall, it's a very good system. I have to mention, and it's very important, Cyprus is not an offshore jurisdiction. It's a proper European clean jurisdiction, just with very good taxes. If we look at the living costs, of course, I would like to make a disclaimer that here just like an indication, okay? Because with water, with electricity, with lots of things, you can spend little or you can spend a lot. But as you can see from this slide, the prices are quite reasonable. Of course, we all understand that Cyprus is not the cheapest country to live in, but also I wouldn't say that it's the most expensive. And lots of things are getting better. And you know, like for one webinar, I asked when it was the first craze with AI, and I actually asked our favorite chat GDP, what are the advantages of Cyprus? And you know what was one of the top? It was the quality of food. Because again, food in Cyprus and the, generally food in Cyprus is amazing. And you know, like if you agree with me, please put plus in the chat, especially those of you who are already in Cyprus. And I hope that you will agree. Yes, you see, it's not just one plus, it's many pluses. Because I think that sometimes we don't appreciate it enough. Okay, so Let's move on. And thank you very much for support. I think that here, actually, I have the best support team here because, guys, from Cyprus, you agree with what I'm saying? Just put pluses and support me in bringing more wonderful people to Cyprus. Now, so we talked about general part. Now let's talk about such things which are extremely important, and especially after pandemic that we lived through, after the COVID, the quality of health. And in Cyprus, actually, the level of healthcare is quite high. And during this diaspora forum, there were lots of discussions about more and more investment in health sector. So I think that the level will be coming even higher. But especially if you live in big countries, in big cities, just look at this figure. There are only 245 people per doctor in Cyprus. It means that you never have to wait too long if you need to see a doctor. And I know that especially in the UK, this can be an issue. Sometimes you have to wait for a long time. The official life expectancy in Cyprus, 82 years. But there is a joke in Cyprus that men live up to the age of 85 and women never die. So again, being a woman, I don't mind. When I saw the figure 26, that Cyprus healthcare is 26 in the world ranking, I had a question, but same time, it's excellent news. And here I need to mention that if you're moving from the European Union, then you will have access to our fantastic national health insurance scheme, which is quite new, but already proved to be very popular, where your family is allocated to a family doctor, and you have option to visit any doctor, any specialist, with only €6 per visit, practically free tests and operation, discounted or in some cases free medicine, and you have access through the scheme both to public and private clinics. If you are not from the EU and you don't have the permanent residency permit, then you have a variety of private doctors and private clinics and lots of health insurance packages, but it will be just a different scheme. And overall, the level is quite good. And I see the question talking about food. Is there a lot of farming and vegetables grown on the island, or they imported? Lots of things are homegrown. What I like, when you go to the food market, everywhere you will see a tag, whether it was grown in Cyprus or imported. And in general, it's of excellent quality. And the fruit and vegetables, when they're in season, they're not expensive, and you can have amazing diet here. Now I can see the question from Judith. Can you choose your doctor? Can you exchange it if you like? What interest to the... Okay, let's start first with the health. You can choose a doctor, and we're talking about the family doctor. When you are referred to the specialist, you can choose what specialist to choose. After you have a family doctor, you cannot switch immediately. But if after a certain time you're not happy, there is a mechanism that you can switch the doctor. Okay. My God, first, I'm very happy that we have Americans listening to us. And I was pregnant many years ago, but I will ask now our marketing department to check, and if possible, we'll find the answer now. If not, we will definitely let you know later. Okay, I have 2 children, but one is 18 and another one is 12, so it was long time ago. But we will answer to this question a bit later. Okay, So now as you're pregnant, after you have a baby, you will have the question where to educate your child. And I'm very happy to say that education in Cyprus is of very good quality. And you have a choice. What I mean by that, regardless of your nationality, your children have access to free public schools. The education will be, if you live legally in Cyprus, then education for your children in public schools will be free, but it will be in Greek language and it will follow the Greek curriculum. At the same time, we have lots of private schools. Most of them follow English or British curriculum, and the language of education is English. The prices vary, but still, like as a guideline, for primary school, it will be between 3 to 6 thousand per child. For middle and high school, it will be between 5 to 10,000 per child. There are lots of colleges and universities, and in fact, Cyprus is progressing to become the center of higher education of Mediterranean region, and almost every year new universities are coming. The level of universities is getting better and better. So this is again one part that is moving. Just to give you an idea, like only this year we have two universities open in Pafos. One of them, American University of Beirut, which is an excellent school. But apart from this, the academic education, Cyprus offers amazing variety of after-school activities, sports schools, art schools, dance schools, everything that you can only imagine. And what is also very important to mention that in general, Cyprus is a very child-friendly country. You know, in some countries, you do not feel it. But in Cyprus, you will see that it is just, well, children are like little gods, if you say, and this is I love it. Uh, what else I want to mention is that that education doesn't stop when you are a child. The fun, sport, art, dance doesn't stop when you are a child. And there are lots of hobby groups and activities for, let's say, third age, meaning that young people of 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 years old. Okay? So apart from these four main drivers that I mentioned, in the last few years, we noticed additional drivers. And when I share with you the figures, how active the real estate market is, you will see these drivers will show you why. One of the reasons is the government program. It's called headquartering, when the country offers incentives for the companies, international companies, to set up headquarters in Cyprus. Next one is the change in legislation that happened recently, which is naturalization of highly skilled employees. Cyprus in general is attracting lots of IT companies. Another idea of our government is to make Cyprus as the center for innovation, the center for startups, so-called European Silicon Valley, if you may even say. And these companies very often employ non-Europeans. And last year, there was a change in the law. So these foreign employees, after 3 or 4 years living and working in Cyprus, provided that they know the language, they can apply for citizenship. And the last but not the least, I think this is the positive result of COVID, is general pursuit of healthy living. I think that COVID taught us that we can work online. We do not have to be in our country to work. We can be in much better and healthier environment, but still working and earning money. And this, I believe, is the positive part of COVID. Let's talk a little. So this is the first introduction part. And again, I want to mention that this is the introductory webinar. I am also running advanced series webinars where I go in more details for specific topics. But let's talk that now you're actually thinking about Cyprus and you like everything that I said, you like the healthy living, you like the taxes, you like education, and now you're thinking, okay, but where shall I go? Okay, Cyprus is a small island, but as I mentioned before, every area has such a distinct character, such a distinct energy that when we start talking to our investors, if they don't know the island, then we would always recommend, try, especially if you're looking for relocation, we always recommend, stay in all the areas, feel what is better for you. But just as a introduction, we actually prepared short slides for each area. And we'll start with Pafos, as it was the ancient capital, and this is the place where we have one of our offices. Let's start with Pafos. So Pafos is one of the most beautiful seaside towns in Cyprus. It is located on the west coast of the island, and it's, I would say, the greenest part of the island. You can see the shape of the island and you can see the area. And the general population in Cyprus is not big, and in Pafos it's only 50,000 in the city and 80,000 in the region. But even for these small numbers, you have all your hospitals, you have private and government hospitals, you have 4 major private international schools, you have international airport, Marina Anastasia, amazing shopping facilities, the biggest archaeological and historic parks, Tombs of the Kings, Pafos Mosaic, Aphrodite Temple, St. Paul's area. We have all the golf resorts in Cyprus. They are located in Pafos area. So if you like playing golf, this is the area where you want to be. So 4 golf resorts, horse riding, water sports, dancing, arts, you name it, everything is here. So Pafos is for you if you're looking for the great lifestyle today and not in the future, and the good combination of investment potential and great lifestyle. So the city, as I mentioned, is already green, peaceful, and very picturesque lifestyle, but still it offers excellent investment potential. And also, if you prefer to be more in the resort type of cities, if you're not the fan of hectic lifestyle, that's Pafos could be an option. Now let's move to the biggest, not the biggest in terms of numbers, but let's say the biggest fun-loving city. And now in the time of Carnival, this is where you feel it most, because Carnival in Limassol in Cyprus is legendary. Of course, it's not Brazil, but still it's very, very active. So Limassol is the second largest city, and it is the business capital of Cyprus. And also I would say that this is the city of high-rising buildings. Limassol got the biggest number of permits given for the high-rise, and most of them already finished. So it's not in the plans. Let's say as is the situation in Larnaca, it's already there. Limassol is also the island's largest port and one of the largest in the Eastern Mediterranean. And many companies choose Limassol as their headquarters because, again, it has the biggest dynamic of the city and the biggest energy of the city. So the population is just above 100,000. Again, like to give you an idea, every city would have excellent healthcare facilities, but education-wise, because of course it's much bigger city, you have 11 international schools and major ones, Follies, Heritage, Grammar, Pascal, lots of educational centers. Limassol Marina is operational. Limassol is in the middle between two international airports, so it's only 30 minutes to Pafos Airport and 40 minutes to Larnaca Airport. From the heritage point of view, we have Curium, Apollo Temple, the ancient kingdom of Amathus. The largest casino is... okay, guys, can you please tell me, do you see my slides or it's stuck? I'm now on the slides of Limassol. So can you please put plus if you can see the slide of Limassol? And okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so the largest casino, the City of Dreams, is open in Limassol, and again, it's operational. And soon, the Limassol Golf Resort, Limassol Greens, it's full under construction, so soon it will be operational as well. So Limassol is for you if you're looking for an active but still safe Mediterranean lifestyle. It definitely has something to offer for all ages, budgets, and ways of life. It is a well-known business center, so from the business point of view, of course, the Limassol has lots of attraction. Of course, you need to remember as well that at the moment, Limassol is the most expensive city. So when you are considering the cities, we would always have with you the discussion about the budget as well, because like I like to say that if we take the standard apartment and we just start moving it from city to city, the same apartment will cost differently. And Limassol will be the highest, especially if it's in the center. Okay, let's move to Larnaca because I still have lots of material to cover and I want to answer your questions. And I can see the question now, if there is a difference between the different parts according to the age of the people, which part is quieter? I wouldn't say that it's according to the age of people, but definitely some parts are quieter. But even within the city, let's say if we're talking about Limassol, if we look at the seafront, it's very active. So it's very, let's say some parts of Limassol never sleep. But if you move on the hills of Limassol, there it's much quieter. So this, of course, there is a difference between the areas, but not so much between the cities as well. Okay, so now let's look at Larnaca. Larnaca area is now the hotspot for investment because this is the city or the area that was neglected for quite a long time. And if Pafos and Limassol was always popular, was always booming, Larnaca was taken in a way a back seat, but now because of lots of new infrastructural projects, it is moving. It's let's say if we move our apartment from Limassol, most expensive, Pafos, second most expensive, then comes Larnaca. So at the moment, it's the area where you can still find very, 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 very good prices. But of course, it's also supply and demand. The more demand comes, the higher the prices go. It has hospitals, it has schools, it has two universities. It is the closest one to the Larnaca airport, and there are going to be several big projects, including future Larnaca marina. So Larnaca is for you if you travel frequently. So if you travel frequently, different destinations, so this is a very easy destination, 10 minutes from any location in Larnaca, and you will be in the airport. If you want to have maybe higher or slightly higher potential of growth just because you enter at the earlier level, Larnaca could be an option as well. And let's go quickly through Ayia, Napa and Protaras, because this is still the area mainly for, in my opinion, mainly for holidays, even though it is really developing as well. So there is a potential for all year living. Just like to give you an idea, you can see that even though the population is quite similar to Pafos area, but they only have one international school. So it's, let's say there is a big room for growth. And let's go, because again, I'm going a bit slow today, or actually just very interesting things that I'm covering. For those of you who are non-European, it is very important to know that Cyprus offers amazing immigration program, which is called Cyprus Permanent Residency by Investment. And this is the vehicle where you can get permanent residency status and you can live in Cyprus as long as you want without any extension of your permits. The permanent residency is given to the whole family, to investor, spouse of investor, and dependent children up to the age of 25 years old. At the moment, there is no language exam, no medical tests, no interview. Unless you want to live in Cyprus, there are no direct tax consequences and quite a short application processing time, even though it's not what is announced. It's announced between 2 to 4 months, but in reality, we see closer to 7 to 8 months because of the demand. The investment criteria are very straightforward. If you want to get permanent residency by investment, you need to invest at least 300,000 euros plus VAT if applicable. And you have several ways how to do it. It can be a housing, a residential property, it can be non-residential property, it can be shares of a company, and shares in the units of Cyprus investment funds. But to be completely honest, most people, they proceed with investment in residential real estate because they choose to go for this program if they want to live in Cyprus. So in a way, they need a place to stay anyway, so they go with residential property. I will go just very quickly, and maybe not even. If you are interested to find out more about permanent residency by investment, you can always book your free consultation. Then you can see the red button above our presentation. You can always reach out, and we reach out and we explain in details, because the program is absolutely fantastic. Okay. Just let me very quickly go through the figures. Again, I believe that it's very important to understand what is happening in the real estate market. Is it growing? Is it falling? What is happening? Is it good time to invest? Is it not good time to invest? Okay, my view is that it's always good time to invest. Cyprus market has been growing for the last 2 years, and you can see that in 2023, the total number of sales increased 16%. Here I'm just sharing the split between the areas. So if we see the most popular city is Limassol, the second most popular is Pafos, then it's Larnaca, Nicosia, and then it's Famagusta. If we look at the foreign demand, we can see that the most popular areas are Pafos and Limassol, then comes Larnaca, and then comes Nicosia and Famagusta. And of course, it's very clear why. If you're moving to Cyprus, of course, you want to be by the sea. And I don't want to go further, but I just want to share with you that as a company, we believe in educated decisions, and we believe in sharing our expertise. So every quarter, we prepare and we publish report about residential properties. So we share information about transactions volume, transaction value, data per each region, data per price bracket. So if you would like to get a digital copy, then you can contact me directly on my Instagram, and I will be very happy to share. Okay. Now I will quickly talk about the buying process. So let's say that you saw our webinar, you heard about all the wonderful thing about Cyprus, and you decided that, you know what, maybe it's a good idea. What shall I do now? What is the buying process? The first thing that that is the most important is understand what you want. And I will share with you the checklist that we prepared. And I would say that if you do the step 2 and you engage the professional real advisor of your choice, then if you know what you want and if you have professional advisor, then 100% you will get to the final point, which is enjoying your new home. But in between, we will help you prepare for your trip or make as many online viewings as necessary. When we prepare you for a trip, then we'll prepare viewing itinerary, help you collect KYC documents, source of funds document, PR applications if applicable. When you are in Cyprus, we will assist you every step on the way, view selected properties, and choose the right property. You have a choice either to appoint a local registered solicitor, or in certain cases, we have our in-house legal support, so we will be able to assist. And then in Cyprus, the procedure is that when you choose the property of your dream, you can pay the reservation deposit, and from that moment, the property is taken away from the market, and the price is fixed. Then we go to the signing of the sales agreement, deposit in the land registry, and complete the purchase process. When we go through the checklist, as I mentioned earlier, the most important is to understand what do I want? What are my big and small wishes? Why do I want to buy in Cyprus? What areas would be better for me? How much am I willing to invest? What is the property type? And additional big and small requirements, just to make sure that you find the property that fits your requirements. And if you decide what are the strategies to invest, if you invest in your lifestyle, then it is just like you need to come and view as many properties as necessary so you find the property of your dream. If you're going with investment, then we always have buy-to-let scenario with various scales, early bird buyer strategy, participation in construction, or flip strategy. And why am I saying it? Because I decided to make a new series of advanced webinars, and it will all be about investment. And actually next Tuesday will be the first part of this advanced webinar series, and it will be all about early bird buyer strategy, explained in details. So if you would like to join, again, please reach out or see our social media, and I will be happy to see you there. And just to mention that the previous advanced webinars that I've done, they were dedicated to VAT in Cyprus, explained KYC procedure, how to pass the due diligence in the bank, and associated costs, what costs and fees you need to consider when you buy in Cyprus. So again, if you would like to find out more, we will be happy to share the links. The advanced webinars are not on our YouTube channel, they are only on request. This is the picture of our wonderful team. We are always working based on 4 principles, which is expertise, efficiency, ethics, and style. And how do we work? We work with a personal online consultation with our property expert, where you can discuss your goals, if Cyprus is suitable for these goals, what are the specifics. We will help you prepare for the trip, assist you with everything connected to your trip, and guide and assist you through the whole process. And of course, we are with you not only during the purchase, but also when you use the property. And if you ever decide to sell, then we will be happy to help you as well. And now it's time for questions and answers. Let me go up to the questions that are already there. And if you have any questions, please write them now. We have a good time to answer. Okay, so the question from Brian. Is the current VAT on a 300,000 property at 19%, or does it depend on when the land was purchased prior to 31st October 23, when the VAT is at 5%? Okay, here, Brian, definitely I would recommend you to see our detailed presentation, because what you are saying, lots of things are right, but lots of things are wrong. So the VAT in Cyprus is 19%. However, VAT on new properties only. If you buy the property that you will be using for your personal use, meaning that you are not going to rent it out, and it is your first property that you submit application for reduced VAT, then you will be able to get 5% instead of 19%. What you refer about the 31st of October, this was the change of the law, but it refers to larger properties, and also it doesn't matter when the land was purchased. What matters when the application for the planning permit was issued. So let us take a note, and we will send you the recording and the presentation of VAT explained. Okay. Very good question from Victoria. Is a short-term let strategy more attractive than a long-term let strategy? You know, at the moment, and I only refer to the time now, they are almost equal, because the long-term rentals in Cyprus, the rates went up quite high. So now the rent is still quite high. So even with long-term rentals, you can get very good, healthy returns. We're talking between 4 to 6%, sometimes it's even more. With short-term, especially if you are the person who is doing the management, it is possible to get a higher return, but you need to understand that the involvement will be much higher, because with the long term in Cyprus, the rule is that the contract will be minimum 1 year. So in a way, for 1 year, your only job is to collect the rent once a month. If you're going with the short term, then it's the cleaning, it's finding clients, it's lots of more things. So again, it depends how much more involved you would like to be. Okay. Uh, Next question. What are the employment possibilities for EU citizens? Okay, so you are absolutely right that for EU citizens, you have access to the labor market without any restrictions. And of course, depending on your qualifications, depending on your profession, this would be the possibilities. But because Cyprus is growing, and because as an employer, I can tell you that it's quite difficult to find good quality employees. So I'm sure that there will be lots of opportunities. Okay. Let's see the question. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm not sure about, but I would say that everything goes under Yianni healthcare. But of course, it's a question maybe a bit in depth. So, okay, let me see. Okay. For EU citizens, do yellow slips have to be renewed yearly? Uh, I will double check. I'm not 100% sure. I believe so, but let me double check and I will come back to you. Okay. Next question. Could you clarify the VAT laws for purchasing plots in Limassol? The information I found is confusing and inconsistent. I am interested in investing, but I need a clear understanding of the VAT requirements in plots in general. You know, with land is different. For land, you cannot get reduced VAT. So for land, there will be, if it's a building plot, if it's a building land, it will be 19% VAT. Okay. And an excellent from my colleague Renata, who is a European EU citizen. So you do not need to renew the yellow slip. You just do it, the registration, when you enter the Republic. Okay, so I think that if we do not have any questions, I will just be very happy to say thank you for being with me. Thank you for spending this hour with me. And I hope that the information was useful. And I would like to invite all of you to come and visit Cyprus. If you're already in Cyprus, I would like to invite you to visit our offices and share your experiences. And if you're not, then I would like to invite you to Cyprus and experience the beauty of our wonderful island by yourself. So, thank you very much. Bye, bye, bye. Thank you. Thank you.